Hello everybody and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program, where it's been a couple years since the last time we were out here, and we're full. So that's great. We can go ahead and undock here. That's something we will definitely do. And we will... Where are you? This one. There we go. We'll undock that. And we'll switch over to here. We need to pull this on up. We'll retract that drill. And we'll retract this one as well. Oh, not the leg. That's not good. Okay, we'll just let this settle. We'll retract the drill. And by leg, of course, I mean wheel. We need to get a little bit of space here. And we'll have to let this settle on this very, very low gravity. Okay. We're trying to go here. Do we not have connectivity? We do. I'm trying to move forward. Brakes are not on. We're just not getting any speed here. And I'm wondering why exactly. Motor is enabled on all of these, and it probably shouldn't be. Let's just have pure front wheel drive here. We're rolling backwards right now. Okay, we need the SAS on. I want this to be on SAS only, of course, and it is. That's good. We need to be heading the other direction. This isn't very helpful. Why are these wheels not going? That's the question now, isn't it? Motor is running at 0.0 per second. Okay. Well, we could take off and fly our way away with the twitches. That is something we could do. It would probably cause some damage here. Oh, are we going? No. No, we are not. It's very interesting, isn't it, that this is just not doing anything. Huh. Okay. There we go. Now, of course, we need to do the same thing over here. Drive limiter should be at, what, 10.2? So, about there. That was 9.8. 10.2. Close enough. I'm sure it'll be fine. All we want to do is get ourselves a little bit of space here. We'll turn the SAS off briefly and allow ourselves to settle down onto the ground. We don't need a lot of distance here. And yeah, we're struggling with traction. There's no doubt about that one. But we just want a little bit of space here. Hello, Eve. We are not going to be here for too much longer. Okay, let's go ahead and turn our brakes on here. And we'll let this come to a halt. Eventually. Eventually. Let's try doing this number for right now. Not tremendously helpful, I gotta say. There we go. Now we've come to we did come to a halt, but that was while we were auto-saving. Apparently we're capable of saving while moving at this speed, so we'll call that good. We're just going to lift this right on up, SAS on, and where's 90 on the nav ball? That's up here. Okay. Up we go. Fantastic. Where we stop, nobody knows. Well, actually, I know. I know exactly where we'll stop. But not for a while. Our apoapsis height is currently at about 3 kilometers, and we should start pitching over towards the horizon here. So we're going to do exactly that. And we'll just rest here for a moment. Well, actually, we should overshoot this quite easily, even if we go purely horizontal at this point. We can see our time to apoapsis is currently about 10 minutes, and I'm going to go ahead and stop. Okay. So we're just going to get ourselves into orbit at that point. And just a circular orbit will do fine. Something along the lines of this. 6 kilometers should be sufficient. Approximately, I think. So we'll head over to that maneuver node. Now we are fairly limited on our current electric charge. But that's okay. This is only going to be another 12 meters per second to get us into orbit, so that's amazing. And we will... Oh, we can't warp because we're too low. We're going to physics warp then on our way on up. It's the best we can do. Wonderful. I was definitely hoping to time warp here. There's no doubt about that. What does this require? Well, below 8,000 meters. Okay. Yeah, that's not super helpful, is it? Not super helpful at all. And it's because our periapsis height is quite low as well. So I guess we can try to burn this down a little bit. Get ourselves into some semblance of orbit. Indeed, this is not the most efficient burn. But this is more about being time efficient than anything, right? That's the primary goal here. It's almost toon shading happening there. Exciting. Well, this is definitely not the highest thrust to weight I've ever seen. That's for sure. Okay, we are now officially in some semblance of orbit. Let's just take this up to an apoapsis of 15 kilometers. There we go. And then we will circularize this. And I'll just get rid of this maneuver as well. There we go. We'll just start over. And we'll get that up to be, you know, around here or so. Perfect. Can we warp? No, not while we're below 8 kilometers. It's going to be a little bit. There's no doubt about that. We're only at 2 kilometers, right? Well, actually, we want to be at sea level altitude. We're only at 5.5 kilometers for right now. I would love to warp to this next target. But unfortunately, currently no such luck. But we do have a large amount of fuel here to be able to refuel with, and I'm hoping that we're going to be able to utilize this engine. I'm hoping that we'll be able to cannibalize that. Maybe we won't. I don't know. We'll see. Regardless, we are at about 6.3 kilometers now, and we just need to continue physics warping our way on up. We're about 6 kilometers away from our mining module at this point. Not moving very quickly, that's for sure, but we don't need to around Gilly. We're about to hit 7 kilometers in altitude. Well, here in a little bit anyway. Our vertical speed is only like 6 meters per second, so yeah, it's not the greatest, if I'm completely honest here. We are technically in orbit, but yeah, we would definitely impact as it is right now. We're in orbital mode, but this is still a suborbital spaceflight. So we're about to hit 8 kilometers. It's that periapsis height I'm concerned about. The other thing we could do, of course, is we could head back to the Space Center to do this warp. And if we have to, that's what we'll do. We'll see at 8 kilometers. I think we'll have to go back to the Space Center. Okay. Nope, it actually is letting us go to a regular time warp, so that's fantastic. Only 50x. That's okay. We now have power flow again. That's wonderful. Our connection is not great, if I'm honest. But it's extant, so that's all we need, really. And we are currently about 17 minutes away from our apoapsis here. This is going to be T-minus 4 seconds that we commit to this burn at, and it's only going to be an 8-second burn. Are we thrust limited on this? No, we're not. Okay, good to know. Oh, that's some debris there. Okay, so we're going to continue warping here towards T-minus 4 seconds. Okay. And let's just get oriented for this burn. And we're going to need to commit to this burn pretty quick here. Okay. Just doing that for now. Just pushing up our periapsis to be a little safer. And then we'll go for the rest of this burn. Good enough. Good enough. Okay, so as far as returning to Eve goes, our thrust to weight is not going to be great. But I would like to do our burn... Where would we want to do that? Around this apoapsis? Not a big fan of this inclination we're picking up here. That's a big ol' burn. I mean, we knew it was going to be a pretty big burn, right? I would definitely like to smooth out this inclination a little bit. That's better, but not great. And that periapsis is going to be a bit of a problem as well, but we always knew that would be a bit of an issue as far as how much fuel we'll have to burn, right? If we look at our ascent module, actually we're going to need to focus on Eve for right now. If we look at our ascent module in orbit around Eve, then we can see here that it's in a somewhat circular orbit at around 100 kilometers. I think for right now, we're going to target 300 kilometers in order to plot an intercept course. Something along the lines of this. Now, how's that inclination going to be? Certainly non-perfect. There's no doubt about that. We could try to tweak it a little bit to bring it in a bit more like this. It's better. It's not great, but it'll do. Okay, so let's go ahead and align for that. That'll be in about 49 minutes. I'll physics warp that alignment, because we're pretty slow at that. Excellent. And then we will go ahead and warp to that. 100x appears to be the fastest that we can warp right now, so it'll take a little bit to get there, but not too bad. And then, of course, we're going to be looking to dock up using this docking module, and we'll just refuel our ascent module, and off it will go. We may try to swap out engines as well. It's something we could do. Okay, so this is going to be a 17-minute burn, almost 18 minutes. So we want to burn this at T minus 8 minutes and 59 seconds, I think? Yeah, 8 minutes and 59 seconds. So we're going to warp towards that. And we're going to burn that right about now. We're going to physics warp that burn, of course. That is going to be a very, very lengthy burn. And that's just because our thrust off of this particular engine, not very good. This is a very efficient engine. It's not a very powerful one. And that's okay. It doesn't have to be. So we're moving along pretty well with this burn, but while we're doing that, we can start thinking about... Let's see, let's check this inclination. That's actually pretty close. Probably close enough on the inclination is my guess. The ascent module is just cruising around in a circle here. Is it going to be going retrograde from us? So we're going to be going this way. And it's going this way. No, it's not retrograde. Good. That's definitely something I was concerned about when I saw that this probe launcher was going this way. But no, that just happens to be in a retrograde orbit. That's okay. Perfect timing for a phone call. Okay, so now that that's under control, we're not getting that phone call. We do still have about 12 minutes left here. You can see that we are well on our way out of here. So that is magnificent. We should be at escape velocity now. Yeah, we absolutely are. And our periapsis is just slowly drifting its way in. And our inclination is changing a little bit here as well. Which is exactly what we're looking to do. We want to bring in that periapsis. For sure. We're going to have way too much energy to dock up for now. You can see here that if we set this as our target, you can see here that our relative speed is going to be a little high for now. But this is only 1 degree off in the ascending and descending node, so that's actually magnificent. I'm very, very happy to see that. We should correct this at the descending node and then look for an intercept probably somewhere along here, unless we've got a super convenient one. It's an option, theoretically. We've gotten quite a lot of distance from Gilly. That's great. We are a little bit over halfway done with this burn. And we are, of course, heading for Eve. So we're going to continue on this for a little while, but yeah, we're definitely going to burn at the descending node here, and we will want to burn normal at the descending node. That will correct our inclination. We're going to need to, of course, correct this trajectory pretty majorly. The question is, just how much DV is that going to take? And I think it's going to take less than I think it is. If that makes any sense whatsoever. I don't know that that makes sense. But regardless, if we have to, we can do a second refuel run, but I would really prefer not to. I think this should be enough to get us home. I really, really do. So that'll be great. Is that an encounter with something? What just happened here? Hang on, what just happened here? Okay. The maneuver appears to have bugged out. Oh, because we just flipped out of Gilly orbit. That's why it bugged out. Okay. So we're going to bring this on in the old-fashioned way, and we'll have to change our inclination at that descending node. That's something that we can do. So we're just going to bring this down to about 300 kilometers. You can see here our thrust-to-weight ratio is absolutely awful, which is perfect. We do still want to be working in orbital mode, not in not in target mode. So we're just going to bring this on down. We're at 700 meters right now, or 700 kilometers rather. We need to bring it down about half of that. 500 kilometers. 300 kilometers now. Okay, we'll call that good, and we're going to warp over to this descending node. We're not going to want to do physics warp, we want to do time warp. We're going to go to the normal mode. And we're going to flip on over to there and just correct our inclination at this point. Physics warp as we turn. Wonderful. And let's begin this burn. Okay, this is looking good so far. Moving reasonably quickly. Not tremendously, but we don't expect it to move tremendously quickly. 2 degrees to go. And we'll see how much we can actually move it here. It looks like it's good. There we go. We are in plane. Fantastic. Once we hit this periapsis, we can start looking at maybe... Oh, that's so expensive. We can start looking at maybe something like this. It's a little bit off in terms of the timing. It's fine, of course. Just wondering... Ah, I see it. Okay. Never mind. So we're going to want to not do quite this much, and we're going to want to just circularize this. About there. Not quite there. About there. Yeah, that's so expensive. It should be okay. We just need a return trajectory, right? But regardless, it's going to be a lot. So we'll just get into position over here, and that's going to be in about 1 day. This is going to be another very, very long burn. And this burn is probably going to happen mostly off camera. So we will go ahead and position for that. This is going to be at 22 minutes and 16 seconds, I think. No, 21 minutes and 16 seconds is when we're going to want to burn this. Wow, we're so far out. Okay, let's go ahead and warp forward towards 21 minutes and 16 seconds. Okay. And we will burn right about... well, here in about 10 seconds. Right about... now. Okay, so that's going to be a very, very lengthy burn. And we'll just go ahead and time warp through some of this. I am definitely a little bit disappointed in how much fuel we have to burn here, but I knew it would be a decent amount over Eve. There was never any doubt about that one. And I'll determine later on, after we've docked up, whether we want to try to swap engines or not. I think it might not be a terrible idea. So, yeah, I mean, this is currently at about 5,500 meters per second. I could get this back to Kerbal orbit, no problem. The question is, what will the ascent module look like in terms of delta V? That's the question. Hopefully we won't have to do any getting out and pushing. That's always awkward. But I think it'll be okay. So, I mean, like I said, this is going to be a pretty lengthy burn, and I'm not going to make you sit through this whole thing. So I'm going to go ahead and put a cut in here, and next episode, we'll have this burn completed, and we may even be getting up to a rendezvous. We've done a lot of rendezvous in the channel. I'm not sure how interesting they really are. I'm going to be doing it the same way. So, and that's going to be a thing. But you can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and I'll see you all next time when we get this docked up and get our refueling done.